Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Since all of you guys love these so much, I have decided to record yet another opening video. And in this video, I want to teach you guys the Italian game, which starts off with the moves 1e4 for white, black responds with e5, and then we go knight f3, and after knight c6 we bring out our bishop to c4. Now I think the Italian game is great if you are at a lower level, if you're in between, if you're let's say lower than 2000, because in this video I will teach you a lot of ways that you can go for a very quick attack and your opponents will not know how to deal with it. Now after the move bishop c4, black's most two popular moves are the moves knight f6 and bishop to c5. Let's say black plays the move knight f6. We'll get to bishop c5 later. Here I recommend that you go for the fried liver attack with the move knight to g5. Going for a very quick attack on the f7 square. Black really only has one move to defend against this, which is the move d5. Now, black can also play the move bishop c5 to Traxler counter attack. And black's idea is that in case we take an f7, then black sacks an f2. And if we take, black takes here. And it all seems to work out for black with a quick queen h4. And black gets a pretty strong attack. So I don't recommend taking on f7 with the knight, which does look good at first glance, forking the queen and the rook. I think the easiest way to deal with this is to take an f7 with the bishop. You put black in check. Let's say the king moves here. And now you just move the bishop back. And we've won a pawn and black's king is stuck in the center. And black doesn't have quite enough compensation. Let's say black goes rook f8. What we do is we go d3. And then we can really take the sting out of black's play by going bishop e3, trying to trade off these bishops. And black really doesn't have enough compensation. Next we go knight c3. Alright, so this is how you counter the Traxler counter gambit. Okay. Anyway, what black can also do is black's main move is the move d5, but black can also play the move knight takes e4. And this is actually a tricky one, because if you take the knight, then black goes d5, forking the bishop and the knight, and black's doing pretty good here, because in case we take, black's got a pawn in the center, they've got the bishop pair, and what is there not to like? But what we do after knight takes e4 is, again, we do not take here, forking the queen and the rook, because black plays a move like queen f6, threatening checkmate over here, and this works out pretty well for black. But again, we take on f7 with the bishop, putting the king in check. And after the king moves up here, a very strong move, we have to move d4, defending the knight on g5, so that in case black takes, we can now recapture, put the black king in check, and on the next move, we take the queen. Alright, so that is how we deal with this, and after d4, white's doing pretty well. I mean, again, the king is stuck in the center, the position is blowing open, and black is in very tough shape. Alright, so let's get to black's best move. Black's best move is the move d5 to block this diagonal. Now here we will take the pawn, and here black's best move is the move knight to a5. But a move that you're very likely to face is the move knight takes d5, just taking that pawn and attacking the knight. But what we will do here is we will go knight takes f7, sacking the knight and forking the queen and the rook. Black really has no choice here but to take the knight. And then we play this queen f3 check and attacking the knight on d5 once more. So black only has one choice. Black has to go king e6 to step out of the check and defend the knight on d5. But white gets a very strong attack here. Here we will go knight to c3, developing the knight and attacking this knight on d5 once more. Let's say black goes knight e7, one of the most popular moves. Here we will go d4. Once again, trying to blast open the position. The idea is that in case black takes, now we can take here and go queen e4 check. And we will regain the knight with a powerful attack. So black cannot quite take on d4, but let's say they go c6 to strengthen the knight on d5. Here we will just take the pawn on e5. And white is doing pretty well here. The king on e6 is completely stuck in the center. We can go kingside castles, we can go bishop g5, putting pressure on this knight on e7, which is a crucial defender of the knight on d5. And we can also go for queenside castles. So white is doing great here. So no reason to not go for this piece sacrifice. Black can also go knight b4 to defend the knight on d5 this way. But here again, we will just castle to bring more pieces into the game. And let's say black goes c6. Now again, we go d4, trying to blast open a position. And taking on c2 is just way too greedy for black, because here we will take an e5. Let's say black takes a rook. We go rook to d1. And white's absolutely crushing it. This king is getting absolutely destroyed in the middle. So it just goes to show how quickly you can win games here in the fried liver attack. Alright, so what black can also do after pawn takes d5 is the move b5, attacking this bishop on f1. And here, it's a little bit tricky. We should not take this pawn because black takes here, attacking our bishop, and this pawn on g2, and black gets pretty good compensation. Instead, what we do is we go bishop to f1. Now this might look a little bit odd, but the idea is that in case black takes with the queen now, this g2 pawn is protected, and so we can just go knight c3, taking the queen, and on the next move we can take on b5, and again black doesn't have quite enough compensation. Alright, black can also take with a knight, but now again we take on b5, because black does not have this move queen takes d5, which would defend the knight, and white is doing great here, we're up a pawn, and we take this knight on c6. So black's best move after bishop f1 is the move knight to d4. This already is a little bit advanced. Now you go c3, attacking the knight on d4. And black's best move is to take this pawn with the knight, attacking the knight on g5. But we'll just take the knight, give up our own knight, and take here with a check. And black is forced to go king d8, which again isn't a pretty move. The king is stuck in the center, and here we just castle. And white's doing pretty well. I mean, our king is pretty safe over here. The black's king is quite a bit exposed, so white definitely has the advantage. After pawn takes d5, what black can also do is black can also go knight to d4. But here we'll just go c3 again, attacking the knight on d4. And black's best move is the move b5, taking our bishop. And here we go bishop to f1, which transposes to the variation I just showed you guys. You can also reach this position through b5 on this move. We go bishop f1, knight d4, and c3. So that makes sense, you guys. You can reach this position through 2 move orders. Alright, so let's get to black's best move. Black's best move is the move knight to a5, attacking our bishop on c4. Now here we will go bishop to b5 check, and black should block it with the move c6. In case black goes bishop d7, here we go queen e2, defending the bishop with our queen, so we can recapture the check, and we can also attack this pawn on e5, and white's also doing pretty well here, we're up a pawn, and black doesn't have quite enough. Alright, so black should play the move c6, blocking the check. Alright, so here we take, and black recaptures. And here, for the longest time, it was considered that black is doing pretty well here, because in case we go bishop e2, black wants to go pawn h6, and after knight f3, they go e4, and our knight is getting chased around the board, and let's say bishop d6, and black gets a lot of development. Black gets a big lead in development here. But there is a pretty tricky move here for white, and actually a move that Hikaru Nakamura used in the recent Norway chess against Fabiano Caruana. There's no bishop to d3. And the idea is that in case black goes h6, now we can go knight e4. Our knight is now protected, and we offer the trade of knights. So black's best move after the move bishop d3 is something like knight d5, attacking the knight on g5. This is also what Caruana played. And now we go knight f3. Black definitely has compensation here, but we are up a pawn, and on the next move we're going to castle. But again, I think if you're at a lower level, it's very unlikely that your opponent will find all of the right moves here, and I'm pretty sure that you will win a lot of crushing games if you go for the quick fry liver attack with knight to g5. Alright, so this is how I want all of you guys to play in case black goes knight to f6 on move 3. Black can also play the move bishop to c5. Now the fry liver is not possible because black is covering that with our queen, with their queen. But here I have another way of playing very aggressively with white. The move I recommend here is the move c3. We want to build a big center very quickly with the move d4 on the next move. Let's say black goes d6, here we go d4, and what very often will happen is that black will take and we get the full center. Because let's say black goes bishop b6, here we can take, and in case black recaptures with the pawn, we will trade the queens, and black's in a tough spot. In case you recapture with a knight, you leave this pawn on e5 hanging, and in case you recapture the king, you leave this pawn on f7 hanging, and white's up a pawn and has a great position because the king is stuck in the middle. Alright, so black's best move after move c3 is the move knight to f6. And here we'll go d4, attacking the bishop on c5 and a pawn on e5. Black should take over here, and now we will recapture, attacking the bishop. And black really should go for this move bishop to b4 check. In case black plays something like bishop e6, we can always try to push black away with moves like e5. So black should go for this move bishop to b4 check. And here, a very tricky move, we will go for the move knight to c3. Now with the move knight c3, it might seem like, hey, we're hanging this pawn on e4, and we are, it's a gambit. So in case black takes an e4, what we're going to do here is we're going to go king-side castles. And the reason why I'm pretty excited to show you guys this line is because I won a lot of games with this line when I was 10 years old. So, hey, when I can beat, young kids with this one, I'm pretty sure that most of you guys can do so as well. All right, so after king-side castles, black's best move is the move bishop takes c3. But I'm sure that you're going to face a lot of people who will take here with the knight. Now we will recapture. Black takes here, and black might be thinking like, okay, I'm doing pretty well, I'm up 2 pawns, I'm attacking this rook, but white here has a crushing move. We have to move bishop to a3. Bring the bishop into the game, and making the king stuck in the center. Black can now not castle because the square is covered. And that is that in case black takes this rook on a1, we're going to go rook e1 check. And black is forced to give up a lot of material. Let's say knight here, we'll take, and black is forced to give their queen, and white is absolutely crushing because we have a queen and a knight for the two rooks, and black's king is very exposed. All right, so we go for this move bishop a3. What black can try to do is go for the move d6, but here we'll go rook c1, attacking this bishop on c3. Now the bishop has to move. Let's say you go to b4. Here we will take and then go queen a4 check, putting the king in check and attacking the knight. And the idea is that in case black jumps back here, now we go d5. Again, what you want to do with pieces that are pinned is you want to put pressure on them because they cannot move, and we do that right here. The knight is lost and white is winning. All right, so what black can do is go for the move bishop to a5, but here again we go for the move queen to a4, pinning the knight on c6 and making contact with the knight with the bishop on a5. Let's say black castles here. Again, we will go for the move d5, attacking the knight, and white wins a piece and pretty much the game. So what black can try to do is go for the move a6, so that in case we go for a move like d5, now they have to move b5. But after a6, and by the way, let's say bishop b6, here also we go d5 and win the knight, and bishop d7, same thing, we go d5 and win one of black's minor pieces. All right, so a6 is a tricky move from black, but here we go for the move bishop to d5, attacking the knight on c6, and again, the idea is that in case black castles, we can take, and then take the bishop on a5, and white's up a piece, and we're winning. So black's best try is the move bishop to b6, making sure that this bishop is not hanging. But here we have a fantastic move. We have the move rook takes c6, with the idea that in case black takes, now we take here with the queen, put the king in check, and in case black blocks, now we can always collect this rook in the corner, and white is up a piece, and we're winning. All right, so black's best move is the move bishop to d7, pinning our rook to our queen, but here we have some amazing tactics. We go for check, king over, and here white's feeling romantic. We go for the move rook takes d6, blasting open this diagonal. Because in case black takes, now we take here with a check, and in case black goes here, we can take here, and after 95, white's got a crushing attack. I mean, this king is not escaping. I mean, let's say you go here, queen b3 is just checkmate. Let's say king e6, there's queen here, and black's king is getting absolutely destroyed in the middle. So again, it just goes to show how quickly things can go wrong for black in the Italian game. Again, I think you guys will do great with it, and you'll win many, many games. I mean, again, I used to play this opening when I was a kid, and I crushed many people with it. What black can do, again, black's best move is the move bishop takes c3. And here we will go for a tricky move. We will go for the move d5. That is that in case we take now, black can go d5, putting the pawn in the middle, strengthening the knight on e4, and we don't have quite enough compensation. So we go for the move d5, attacking this knight on c6. Now black's best moves here are bishop to f6 or knight to e5. Let's say black goes bishop to f6, then here we go for the move rook to e1, attacking the knight on e4. Black should go knight e7, and then we'll regain the knight on e4. Let's say black goes for castles here, then we can go for moves like d6, and black is always a little bit stuck here with their pieces, and white still has a pretty strong initiative. So black should play the move d6 themselves. But now we go for the move bishop to g5, offering the trade of bishops to try to open up black's position. So let's say black takes, we recapture, and here, in case black goes kingside castles, then we go for knight takes h7. In case it takes, we give a check, rook h4, and we have a very strong attack, threatening checkmate on h7 and h8. So black should play something like f5, but then we check, and here, white's got a very strong attack here, even though we're down a piece. The idea is very often that we want to go bishop to e2 and bishop to h5. Now, this might become a little bit theory heavy, but again, it just goes to show how quickly we can build up a very strong attack here in this opening. The black's best move after rook takes e4 is the move d6. Oh, wait, sorry, d6, that's where we were. And here the move h6. But what we do here is we sack the knight. We go queen e2, and in case it takes, we go rook to e1, attacking the knight on e7. And here again, white gets a pretty strong initiative. So I hope all of you guys will win many crushing games against the Italian. Let me know if any of you guys has any questions about it. Again, I'm sure you're going to do well with it. I think it's a very effective repertoire against low-rated players. Like, let's say you're rated around 1,000 or even 1,500 or below that. I'm sure you're going to crush your opponent. So Give it a try, let me know how it goes in the comments, and I look forward to seeing all of you guys in the next video.